Brunswick Parking Authority. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the New Brunswick Parking Authority, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News and Tribune, as per the annual notice provided in a resolution adopted by this governing body on December 29, 1975. We have minutes from the March board meeting. If you any comments before we ask for a motion to accept those minutes? Not, can I get a motion? Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Karen?
Oh, thank you. Performing Arts Garage, things are moving along on schedule. Advised the first performance at the new George Street Playhouse is going to be October 15th. I was also advised by the Cultural Center that there will be a total of over 300 performances scheduled next season at all the theaters. That's the State Theater and the 2 new theaters. So it should be a fairly busy garage, especially during the evening and nighttime hours. 2019 Restoration and Maintenance Project, which I mentioned last month, April 29th will be the day that the bid documents are released. And then the due date for responses for that project is May 16th. Again, we're looking at about $300,000 worth of work. Really concentrating on the Plum Street, New Street, Church Street, and Wellness garages. Over at the Patterson Street deck, we had a couple of leaks in the lobby, so we're going to have that repaired this weekend, this Saturday. The new roof is going to be installed, the lobby of the Patterson Street garage. And over at University Center across the street, I'm working with Rutgers University. They have new awnings installed along Eastern Avenue. The ones that are currently there are pretty tattered and stained. So we're looking at installing metal ones, which are much more durable and will last a lot longer than these cloth ones that are there. Over at City Hall lot, we're converting, we have a multi-space meter there. We're going to convert that to pay by license plate. Right now it's pay by space. This will also affect the city employees who currently park there. So instead of hang tags, we'll be able to get license plates and put them on a white list. So your license plate will be your permit basically. This will help enforce and monitor the lot using LPR technology. Also be savings for the city. They won't have to go and purchase hang tags anymore. So, we're looking to expand the Park Mobile reservation system to Civic Square Garage, which is an event. We open that at night. Just to refresh your memory, we open the Civic Square Garage at night for events, basically at the theater. So we pay flat right now $10. So we're going to have a reservation available for that facility too, if you like. And then finally, just a point of interest, we compared the credit card usage at the on-street meters. So in 2017, 67% of the revenue was derived from credit card usage, and in 2018 it increased to 72%. So it was a 5% increase over the 2 years. And currently this year we're still holding flat at 72%. That's all I got.
Okay, thanks. Bright?
We had the audit exit conference last week, and we're still waiting for the state numbers to finalize the audit. The audit will be done. The March report was emailed last week to everybody. Any questions?
Thanks. Legal, anything?
No report, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Any public comment this evening?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. I want to follow up on, I think, the same 3 things I asked about in the last meeting. Is there a date for the beer garden opening?
Mr. Crowder, let me just stop you and say that the public comment section is exactly that. It is a time for you to comment for the board to hear your concerns. But what it is not, and I've advised the board of this, is that it's not a question and answer period. So based on my advice to the board, we're going to treat this as a public comment section where you can speak, we will listen, but ultimately there will be no back and forth.
So going forward, the parking authority refuses to answer questions asked during the public comment.
There will be no back and forth. There are other means by which you can get information from the authority, you're well aware of them, but as far as a question and answer, no, we will no longer do that.
And for what reason?
Simply because the law doesn't allow for that. The law specifically says it's a public
It's
comment
against the
section.
law for you to answer questions, is what you're saying.
I've advised the board of their rights and your rights, and your right is to comment, and their obligation is to listen. So that's the way we're going to conduct it.
Right, you're gonna do the bare minimum.
Okay, well, I think I've explained our position.
You haven't explained why. Why won't this board answer questions from the only member of the public that chose to come here today? Why won't this board answer simple questions
Mr. Crowell, I
about
said we're not gonna
contracts that
answer
this
questions.
body is engaged in?
If you have a comment, we'll certainly hear that.
It was absent from the executive director's report when the beer garden will open. It was also not mentioned anything about the supermarket. The supermarket owes this agency more than $500,000 last I checked. And we were told on January 9th, New Brunswick Today newspaper was told that we can expect an update 60 to 90 days. We are now past that time period. And at the last meeting, I believe the executive director even said, we'll have an update at the next meeting. So here I am, I've come to the next meeting, that issue has not been addressed. Can I please get an update on that issue as was promised?
Do you have any other comment?
I would like my questions answered.
Mr. Chairman, I've already advised the speaker that we're not going to answer questions.
I think there's ways to get information from the executive director in forums other than the meeting.
I'm coming to ask the board members questions. You're responsible to the taxpayers of New Brunswick, to the people who pay those meters, pay those fines, and pay hundreds of dollars to park in your decks. Why won't you answer basic questions about what you're doing with the money? About what you're doing with the assets?
Mr. Crowell, do you have any comments?
About these commercial real estate boondoggles? I'm asking these questions. And you're going to remain silent?
Mr. Crowell, we're here to listen. If you have comments, we'll certainly hear them.
This is a new low, and this is a disgrace for this agency. As you know, people in every town in New Jersey go to their government meetings. Some of them have comments, many of them have questions. And while there's no legal obligation for a board member to answer a question, the good ones do it because they have nothing to hide and because they know that they work for the people. And when one of your people comes to ask you questions, you should feel in your soul, in your heart, that you owe them an answer because you've been bestowed a position of power. And I know all four of the men up here, and you're better men than staying silent. So I would like answers to my questions. Those are the two questions, and the third is an update on the other issue that I've brought up repeatedly, the suicides from these decks. And I've politely raised the issue. I've brought research to share with the board, and I've only asked that you address it, that you hear us out, and you actually say something, speak for yourselves.
Mr. Cradaville, this is the public comment section of our meeting. That's what we're asking you to do, please. We're hearing your comment. There is no response from us, so we would ask you to please provide your comments. You can speak with the executive director to get the answers to your questions.
Okay. Would the executive director be willing to meet with me?
Again, there's a process. I know you know it. You know it better than I do. That's what we ask you to do.
I'd be happy to meet with the executive director if he'd be willing to meet.
That's not what the process is it? You could tell me what the process is. Is there a way to submit questions and to ask for responses? Correct?
Certainly, there's several ways, including in person, phone,
Right.
email, we all
It's
know
not-
this.
The forum
Yes.
is not at this public comment at this meeting. That's-
Right, why is this board going to be the only board in New Brunswick
Sir,
that behaves
excuse me.
like that?
Take it up with the executive director. That's why he is our executive director.
And what are you guys here for then?
We're the board, and we serve our function. It's not for us to answer to you, sir, what our function is.
Okay, understood. This board is not here to answer for the public. Answer to the public. This board doesn't want to do their responsibility.
Sir, I'm
You've been.
referring you to the executive director of the agency. Thank you. That's the public
The
comment
board
section.
should have the answers too. The board should be able to answer these questions. And the fact that you brought in this lawyer who's going to give you that bad advice, that's going to make you look bad over and over again, don't follow it. Please don't follow it. It's bad advice. He couldn't even answer the simple question, why are you doing this? He seemed to suggest it's against the law. You should get a lawyer who knows the law, because this one doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, the next item on the resolution is the payment resolution for April. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
And I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Mitch, resolution approving commercial office and elevator cleaning
Yes, we
contract.
put out a request for bids for, to clean the administrative office here and clean the elevators at our facilities. So this is for a one-year period with an option to renew for 2 additional one-year periods. And the lowest bidder was Clean Com LLC out of Hamilton, New Jersey. And their bid was for $33,600. And they were the lowest responsive bidder.
And Mitch, could you say the name again? Was it?
Clean, K-L-E-A-N, Com, C-O-M, LLC.
Thank you.
This is a different company than currently Clean.
Okay. Can I get a motion approving this resolution?
Make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any old or new business items, Mitch, to bring up?
No, I have nothing, Chairman. I have closed session, I have a legal issue.
Okay. Can I
that
get
I'd
a
like to
motion
discuss.
to go into closed session?
Make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
For what reason is the board going into closed session?
We're not in the public comment section, I recommend you don't answer.
Are you going to cite the legal matter, which matter it is? Is that required, Mr. Attorney? Point of order.
The public can't ask for a point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we're in closed session. We're back in open session. That means there being no further business, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
And a second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.